Hi everyone, welcome to the live stream today. We're going to talk about pronunciation with my colleague Rob from the UK. One second. Do you see me? Do you hear me well?
Hello.
Hello,
Sasha.
how are you?
I'm all right. How are you doing?
I'm also good, thank you. How's the weather in the UK right now?
Yeah, I mean, not great. It's a bit grim, but it's not raining, and it was
Oh,
raining yesterday.
wonderful.
Yeah,
Was raining yesterday?
yeah. It's got to that time of year where it's raining quite a lot. It's a bit cold. Not as cold as it normally is this time of year because of global warming. So that's what it's like. So where are you? Are you in Russia?
I am in Russia right now. I'm in Moscow. I've just come back from Istanbul a few days ago.
Wonderful. Where in Russia?
Moscow, the capital.
Moscow. I've heard of that.
Yeah. Have you ever been in Russia before? No?
No, I've never been to Russia. Never.
Yeah.
I didn't know if you were Russian or British because
Really?
your
Thank
accent
you.
is like British. It's so good.
Thank you. Thank you. So, where are you from originally? From London or what kind of town?
Yeah, Croydon. Have you heard of
Croydon.
Croydon?
Mm-hmm.
It's like South
Wonderful.
London, Southeast London. So I grew up in Croydon and then I moved to Central London when I was 18 to go to drama school
Oh, yeah, yeah.
because I used to be an
Wonderful.
actor and you're an actress, right? Well, an actor,
Yes,
sorry, you're an
yes.
actor. Sorry. No, it's just
Yeah.
you're used to it that way, but it's great that it's just actor. So you're an
Mm-hmm.
actor. Wonderful.
Yeah,
So we
yeah.
have that in common.
Yes. Same education as well.
Yeah. Did you go to drama school?
Yeah, I've just graduated this year, so
Right. So
quite fresh.
you must be quite young.
Yeah, I am. I'm 22 right now.
Very young, very young. So which drama school did you go to?
In Russia, Russian drama school.
Okay.
And we have like a 4 year training. Like I know that in the UK it's 3 years,
Yeah.
in Russia it's 4 years. But to be honest, the last year I would think it's just like an additional year because it's not that intense.
Right.
So,
No, well, in drama school, like the third year. Well, in fact, the first year was the most intense, actually,
yeah, exactly.
and then yeah,
Did you?
it got easier with the
Yeah,
years.
did
So
you have
both.
this training where you had to portray an animal in the first year?
Oh yeah, we did animal work. Yeah.
Same stuff. And also observations from the underground, from the metro, from, I don't know, from the grocery store. We also had to do that in the first year
So
a lot.
what's that? Tell me about that observations.
So you have to, like, for a week, you have to take a lot of notes and write down everything about what you see in the metro, on the
Okay.
street, everywhere. And then you have to choose just one person who is, I don't know, the most interesting one. And you have to portray it, you have to imitate, you have to impersonate that
Okay.
person, like you have to become it. And it was a
Brilliant.
really interesting experience. Like it helps you with reducing those, I don't know, personality traits that you have. So you
Yeah.
have to completely change yourself.
Yes, it's a really
Really intense.
brilliant technique as well. Just to get out of your natural way of being and your habits that you do with your body, the way you walk, which is brilliant for the animal work. I love the animal work. There's a story where, have you ever seen Copland?
I'm not sure of it. What is it?
Copland, it's quite old. I mean, over 10 years old. And it has De Niro and Stallone in it, and they're playing cops.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean now.
And
Yeah.
Ray Liotta's in it as well. I think, is he in it? I think he's in it. And T1000 from Terminator. What's he called? Robert someone? I've forgotten his name. But anyway, it's a great film. And I heard that De Niro, to help Stallone with his character and his demeanor, he had a tortoise, a little toy turtle that he kept in his pocket just to remind him, that he needs to be slow movements, which I thought was a great story because it does make sense. And Stallone in that film is brilliant.
Whoa. So it helped him with slowing down his movements,
Yeah,
everything,
just
the
a reminder.
tempo.
Yeah, that's his animal. His animal was like a tortoise, so it's
It's
slow.
actually a good technique, you know, you can use even those acting techniques in learning languages. That's a great idea. For example, if you feel like it's impossible to speak clearly, to speak native like,
Mm.
you can actually, you know, pretend you're a different person for some time. I don't know, maybe you can meditate for a minute or two, like become this person, like feel like you're completely different. That helps you a lot with, you know, as I've said before, with removing those things that you have in your life, and like that helps your brain to think, oh, I can do that. It's
Yeah.
actually possible.
So in terms of pronunciation, obviously you were born in Russia.
Yeah, I was
You are
born in
Russian.
Russia. Yeah,
So your
yeah,
accent
I
is
am.
brilliant. Now, how have you
Thank you.
developed that accent, and what have been your techniques?
Exactly like I've said before, I've just done a lot of training, and it was my goal to speak like a native speaker. Like at first I thought maybe it's impossible, because many people say it's impossible, and like why can you say, like, why can you speak like a native speaker if you were born in another country, if you don't have like friends who are native speakers, how can you practice that? But actually you can only have Instagram, just your phone, Instagram, watching live streams of native speakers, and like you can find someone whose accent is, I don't know, your favorite one,
Yeah.
and you can just shadow it, you know, you can just imitate the accent. It's actually possible.
Mm.
That's what musicians do. Like they hear a melody, they repeat it. It's possible. So the only thing I did was actually listening to native speakers a lot and just repeating everything. Like, for example, I watch Harry Potter. They
Okay.
say something like, I don't know, Draco Malfoy, are you here? And you have to repeat this phrase like multiple times until you sound like a native.
Brilliant.
So it's actually possible. Yeah.
Well, yeah, it is. You're proof that it's possible.
Thank you.
So that's what you did. You just
Yes,
repeated
yes,
what
I
you
did
heard,
that. Yes.
and you continue to
I
do
didn't
that.
have I didn't have a pronunciation coach. I just did everything by myself, like in terms of pronunciation, not in terms of grammar, of course.
Okay. Now, just for everyone who's here, if you have any questions, of course, just ask us about
Yeah, yeah, ask
pronunciation,
us. Yeah.
how to say certain words. I know the TH sound is difficult. How did you learn to perfect that?
To be honest, it's a bit of a different story for me, because I didn't have any challenges with this particular sound,
Okay.
because I was maybe quite young when they first introduced me to this sound, like, I don't know, teachers at school. So, and it was rather easy, you know, it's easy when they explain, like, it's a snake, if it's a silent sound like th, or if it's a voice sound like the, yeah, you have to put your tongue between your teeth,
Yeah.
the th. But the main problem is, well, when you say something in a sentence, that's where problems occur usually.
Right.
So yeah, you need to practice a lot. Just basically read everything. Read slowly, then faster, faster, as fast as you can. So that's the best technique, just repetition, I guess.
And read. So when you're reading books or anything, you read out loud.
Yeah, it's better to read out loud. Of course, it doesn't help you with understanding the context, with understanding the meaning of the text, but in terms of pronunciation, yeah, you can also. I've posted a bit of an article today about pronunciation and how to sound like a native speaker.
Brilliant.
And one of the tips was that you have to record yourself. It's a
Yeah.
good tip. You have to
Cool.
record yourself, even with your camera, even when you don't have anyone around you. Just record yourself, and then you can hear your mistakes, because sometimes when I say something, I also can make a mistake, of
Mm.
course. But if I watch it again, yeah, I hear it. I identify it now. Okay, I can fix it. As long as you identify it, you can fix it. So it's better to be conscious about your mistakes.
Perfect. Because if you listen to yourself when you're speaking, it's different to when you replay you speaking.
Exactly, exactly. What was the most popular mistake, in your opinion, like from your own experience when you teach? What do usually speakers mispronounce? Except from like if we don't talk about the th sound.
Yeah, in terms, yeah, often with my students, they drop the last syllable.
Exactly, yeah.
That happens a lot, um, especially with like adverbs that end in ly. They just drop the ly, so
Mm-hmm.
they might say real instead of really. You know, so I always say to them, make sure every syllable is as important as each other syllable. So make sure you pronounce it correctly, and also you need to stress a particular syllable as well to make sure you get the word correct, because often words are spelt the same, but if you stress the beginning, it's a noun, or the last syllable, it becomes a verb, which is quite a nice little tip for people. Did you learn that, I guess, when you were learning English? Is that something
Yeah,
that you
yeah,
were
but
taught?
it was mostly from experience. I didn't learn it as a rule that, you know, the last syllable, it's usually a verb, the first one is a
Yeah.
noun. I've just seen, you know, the kind of the, how to say it, like the tendency.
Yep.
And I thought, oh, yeah, might be. So it became intuitive. And then as I was learning some new vocabulary, I was, again, there's proof to that.
Perfect. Now, have we seen any questions from anyone about
Yeah, let me
pronunciation?
look as
There have
well.
been quite a few questions actually, but it's going so fast. Paris English class is here. Hello, Paris. She is a teacher herself.
Hello.
How to deal with tongue slips. Tongue slips. What are tongue slips?
Yeah, I'm wondering, maybe it's something else. I'm not sure. I thought it was about something like when you mispronounce something just because you're too quick, and
Like
maybe,
mistakes.
yeah, like I don't know, maybe your muscles not are not working properly when you say a difficult word.
Yep. You
So
do need to.
probably,
Well, as actors, we were taught to practice stretching our our mouths before we do a performance, and that will help as well when speaking English, because you do need to use the tongue. um, so there's tongue exercises as well that you can do as well. Do you remember doing those exercises at drama school?
exactly,
Yeah.
yeah. Not only do they help with your voice, but also with your articulation. For example, some like I don't know, pronunciation. I've been always told that pronunciation is just muscle work.
Mm.
So you cannot pronounce a word correctly if your muscles are not ready.
Mm.
So yeah, your tongue has to be prepared, your lips have to be prepared. For example, one of those exercises which are really popular, and actually even when I teach English online, I usually prepare my students to do that. So in terms of English, we usually use our lips a lot. We roll them, stuff like that. So we need to do this exercise for a few minutes. I don't know, maybe 2 minutes, 1 minute. It looks like that. So we're kind of rolling our lips, and if you do that for 1 or 2 minutes, it helps you a lot. Maybe your muscles can hurt for some time after that if you do everything correctly,
It's
like
like
that.
any muscle that you're
Yes, yes,
working, you know, you
exactly.
need to just keep using it to strengthen it. So it's
Mm-hmm.
exactly the same as your mouth, your lips, your tongue as well. I've seen a
Did
question.
you do you remember any other exercises from drama schools?
Oh God, it's a long time ago. In terms of, well, I guess there are certain words like tongue twisters as well. Um, I mean, you can find tongue twisters online. Just search for it, and I can't think of any right now because it was a
Red
while.
lorry, yellow lorry, something
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that. Peter
exactly.
Piper. Mm-hmm.
Just words that make your mouth work harder, and they're tricky to be able to pronounce those words correctly and fast as well, because tongue twisters are supposed to be said quickly because it gets your mouth moving. Yeah, so tongue twisters I would definitely recommend. Hans underscore 8 has asked, how do I pronounce these words? Conscious and conscience. So they're really close, but you have the N in the conscience. So I was teaching in my last live was actually about pronunciation and to get the N sound, because conscious, the tongue is working, but it's not against the top of the roof of the mouth. Whereas with the N, you need to get that tongue up against the roof of your mouth, just behind your teeth. So N, N. So conscious, conscious. Whereas conscious, your tongue does still come up, but it doesn't need to be touching. So they're really similar, but I think that's the difference that I would say. Conscious, conscience.
Conscience.
What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with you. Conscious, conscience. It's a bit
Conscience.
different, just slight difference.
So slow, but it's a great question. Thank you, Hans underscore 8. Also, Alam. No, I'm not going to pronounce that. It's lots of letters. 6555. I want new friend, please, because to learn English. So speaking partners. These are great because we've got 166 people on here. So if you want to find a speaking partner, you can just write it in the comments and just take a note of that name, and you can find that person, friend request them, and then have a speaking partner.
Yeah, exactly. It's a good chart, good opportunity for that. Actually, I see a comment from this guy that asked us this question before. OMG, it's actually helped this exercise you just explained. Thank you. Yeah, it works. It works. If you do that multiple times on a regular basis, it's really good.
Fantastic. I
saw a question really good about Glottal Tea, how to produce it. What's your idea?
About what?
Glottal Tea, like little.
little. Yeah, well, the difference between British and Americans don't really pronounce it. They would say little. They would pronounce it like a D, wouldn't they? Little. Where would we would say little.
Little. No. I mean the Glottal Tea, like when people, especially from London, sometimes drop the T sound. They say like little, and this guy was wondering how to make this sound.
Well, I'm from London, but I try to articulate well, and I would say little. So little. It's just, I guess the tongue is being lazy. It's not working as hard. So little, the tongue isn't doing much. Whereas little, the tongue is
little.
It's
Yeah,
harder. It's sharper. It's working a little bit harder to get the little. You make the lit. You need to get that tongue behind the teeth, up high to get the t. But if you're saying little, it does still go up, but it's not as firm. The tongue isn't as firm.
Exactly.
To make that sound. So if you want to be lazy, then you can just have a weak tongue. But if you want to sound articulate, which I think is the best way, like Sasha is, you need to work that tongue and practice. So I think we used to do the exercise with the tongue, like just putting it out and doing that just to strengthen the tongue that way, out and. Are there other ways? I think some people can do it the other way, perhaps, but not everybody can. But yeah, and just get it out and move it around and do the all the way around, just to get that tongue working. And again, it's a muscle, really. It's a muscle that you use all the time to be able to speak. So it's probably the most important muscle when speaking, right?
I see a nice. Sorry, you first.
No, just make sure you use it. Make sure you don't have a weak tongue.
Mm-hmm.
Exercise your tongue. That's my tip.
I also see a nice question from It's Me Tahir. How to practice English if no one is available around? Yeah, as we've said before, you can find someone in the chat right now because these people are interested in learning English and probably they are looking for a speaking partner as well. So you can text anyone or say it in the chat like I'm looking for a speaking partner and you will find them.
Exactly. And also, there are ways you can find people in real life. Remember, we have the internet, and the internet is amazing. And you can go online, and there's many places. I've met many people at events like couch surfing and meetup. There's also an app called Speak, which is brilliant because they have events as well. So you can find these apps, go to these websites, and just either find events that are happening near you. And if they're not happening near you, you can make an event. That's the great thing.
Exactly, yes.
Yeah,
Why not?
just exactly. And you can
Just
just make it an English speaking event. It can just be a get together where you practice speaking English.
mm-hmm. That's great. Like you can post a story on Instagram saying that, guys, we are going to this cafe this Saturday.
Yep.
Anyone who's learning English can join us. I don't know, free coffee, free tea, and stuff like that. It's an amazing idea.
Yeah. And you make new friends as well whilst learning English. The thing is that you have to have a little bit of get up and go, you would say. You have to take action. You have to be the person that wants to learn English so much that you'll put the effort in and you'll start to create events and make friends. If you're lazy, you're not going to learn with anything.
Exactly, yeah. And sometimes people ask me like one even my students they say like, Sasha, how can I motivate myself? Well, if you have this question already, maybe you don't have any motivation because if you have a particular goal, you don't think about it. You know why you need that.
Yeah,
I don't know, job
exactly.
promotion, you'll have a partner who's English, you have an exam coming up soon. So when you have a particular goal, you don't need motivation.
Yeah, exactly. If you want it enough, then you're motivated. It's simple as that. So if you're not motivated, you don't really want it. All right. I've seen
Uh,
somebody say how to improve vocabulary. Well, you need to be looking at words and hearing words. And then when you do, and it's a new word, write it down. So make
exactly,
sure
yeah.
you have your notebook. The notebook is the most important part of your language learning journey that you're on, because, and ideally a small one, because you can have it on you at all times with a little
Exactly,
pen.
yes.
And then you hear a word and you make a note of it. And then when you have time, you look it up in the dictionary. There's a great dictionary that I use online, and luckily it's dictionary.com. So you'll
Mm-hmm.
remember it. And on there, you can obviously see the meaning, see synonyms. So other words that are the same mean similar to the word. And also you can listen to how it's pronounced. So you have it.
Yes,
But
yes.
also the most important rule for learning a vocabulary is you need to use the word. You can't
Yeah,
just,
exactly. You need
if you
to
don't
learn it
use it, you'll
in the
lose it.
context.
Simple
Yeah,
as that.
context is the key.
Yeah.
And I always say to my students, it's better to even when you see a new word, learn it immediately in the context, immediately in the sentence. Even it's better if it's a personalized context. What I mean by that, for example, it has a relation to your life. For example, if you learn a word just apple, you won't have any strong associations with that word. Whereas if you learn a sentence like there is a green apple on the table, you know how to use it, you know how to use the word table, apple, green, but also it's even better to use it when it has like strong bond with your life. For example, if you hate eating apples, don't learn a sentence like I love it, I love green apples, I love eating green apples. Don't learn it, you won't use it in your life. Say something like, I hate eating apples. I
Yeah.
can't stand them.
Yes.
Yeah, when
Brilliant.
when it has emotions, of course it's better to memorize it.
Absolutely. Great tip. Oh, I'm just looking at some more questions. Uh, Somebody says, I like your teeth. So I think they're probably speaking about your teeth.
I think both of us.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you. Maybe, yeah. Both your teeth. How can we, it says,
Oh,
Native American speakers. Don't know what the question is there. Maybe wants to speak like a native, maybe. So, like you said, if you need to listen to the accent you want to speak like,
yes,
and then
yes.
just copy it.
Yeah, you can find a celebrity, for example, I don't know, Emma Roberts. She has a general American accent, and you can practice by just listening to her interviews, repeating everything she says. Don't copy everything, like don't copy the, I don't know, mannerisms and gestures. No, don't become Emma. Be yourself, but still copy the tone of the voice, the intonation, the flow. It helps you a lot. Also, I see a fantastic question, like,
Go on then.
what if I'm too shy to speak to other people? Like, I'm not shy with learning English and I can speak it fluently, but I'm really shy in terms of communication.
Are you gonna?
uh,
Do you want me to answer? Or are you gonna answer?
we can answer both of us. Like, my idea is
Yeah.
that you can ask yourself a question like, are you always like that even with your first language? Because if it's true, because if you're like generally shy, you cannot change it. Like, it's better to be yourself. Maybe you're like an introvert. But if it's different with your first language, if you're really open, really outgoing, then yeah, you need to fix it. For example, the more you practice, the better. Because without practice, of course, you're going to be afraid. You're afraid, accept that. Don't fight with that feeling. Accept it, acknowledge it, and just go out, speak, try. Pretend to be a foreigner in a grocery store. That's your first kind of homework, I guess.
I like that. So you're pretending again to be someone else.
Yeah, it helps a
Nice,
little bit with
nice.
the.
And also, even if you're shy, finding friends online, I would think, is easier because it's not face to face. That's a start. So you can
Yeah,
find a speaking partner, and it can start with just texting each other, and
I have
then
a
you can start
fantastic
speaking.
idea. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. You can actually start with voice messages because you can rehearse.
Yep. Good. Good. And voice messages are all the rage right now. You know, when I was in Brazil, they just send voice messages, and to be honest, they're brilliant voice messages. It's much better to hear people's voices rather than read the messages. If you read, it's nothing really. Whereas if you hear them, it has so much more life.
What about the UK, by the way? Is it common to send voice messages right now there?
I don't know. I mean, I think it depends again what I think younger people I think use them more. I'm just throwing that out there because I guess if you're a little bit older, you're not used to it. You
Mm-hmm.
know, my mum, she very rarely uses them. My stepmom doesn't use them, but I always encourage it. I say it's a good way to. It's better and it's faster. So there's two good reasons. Because you know what it's like. You want to get a lot of information to somebody, and you're typing it out, and she's thinking, and then you might think, oh, they might take that the wrong way, and that does happen, of course. In text messages, if you don't put the right thing, the right emoji, a kiss at the end, people take it the wrong way.
Yeah, with
So,
yeah.
voice messages, they can't. That's just you being you. So that's a great tip, though. I love that. To start off practicing speaking English, send voice messages. Love that.
Mm-hmm.
Great
Yes,
tip.
yes. Then
Great
you
tip.
can video call each other after some time. Then you can
Exactly.
meet them in person after some time for 20 minutes and then run away.
Well, hopefully it goes well. Just going through the messages, Borigos has said that actor from Terminator 2 is Robert Patrick. Thank you. That's perfect. He's a great actor. Just having a look at other questions. If you see any, let us know.
Yeah, 1 second. Question, I have a strong Portuguese accent. How can I get rid of it? Yeah, again, record yourself. A voice messages as well. Use voice messages with someone who can help you with that, who can give you some feedback.
Yeah.
And if you have that opportunity, of course, go to an accent coach or an English tutor.
Ideally. Somebody says, Priscilla has said, Sasha is Russian. I'm shocked as well.
Thank you.
And somebody else says, you speak as well as the British. I agree. I thought she was
so
British.
Oh, nice feedback. I solved this issue by talking with my family, even though they don't speak English. So they forced them to speak English with them, like parents.
Brilliant.
Amazing.
That's really going to help you.
Yeah, and actually, if you don't even have any native speakers or someone with a good English level, you can ask your close friend to, do you want to learn English? We can start doing it together. Like next day, like let's talk only in English.
Yeah.
Even if you don't know anything.
Yeah. If you can do that, that's why it's so important to get a speaking partner, if you can find one. And you can find one. There's so many people out there looking for a speaking partner. And then you just have a chat every day, and you'll get better without even thinking about it. You'll get better.
Oh, word. Okay. How to pronounce the word literally?
How to pronounce the word literally.
Yeah, in British English.
Again, that's another adverb with the ly on the end. Got a lot of people struggling with those words. Literally. So using the T again, I guess Americans would say, literally. So not as much work with the tongue. So literally. It's kind of 4 syllables, but sometimes you can make it 3. Literally. I think normally
Literally.
literally it's normally 3, but you can say literally, but is that too much? When I say literally, literally.
Yeah, and it
Literally.
also sounds like ch a little bit. Becomes ch, like
Yeah.
because they're so close, like literally. Literally.
That's definitely how I would pronounce it. Tra. So how
Tra.
Tra. Again, you're bringing this bottom lip up to get the tra.
Tra.
Lit. So it's kind of like lit, where your mouth is a bit wider. Lit to get the t sound. Literally. So I'd love to hear them say that. Literally, and it's a word that is used literally a lot.
Yeah, it's often used.
All right. Somebody's put, if I want to get IELTS score 7+, how many months do I have to practice? This is interesting, actually, because I'm about to release a course to do exactly that. So you're welcome to follow me and you'll find more about it. But this is a 30-day course. So
1 month, yeah?
1 month, I think you can do, but it all depends which level you're at now.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're like A1, A2, then it's going to take a lot longer. But if you're, I think B1, B2, you only need 30 days. But you have to remember also, you need to work on it. You need to be working every single day on every part of English. So you're speaking, you're listening, you're reading, and you're writing every day, and make it part of your life. And if you can do that for 30 days, then you, I believe, will get 7+ in the IELTS exam. In fact, what I'm doing is the course is you pay for it, but then you get the money back if you don't get 7+, because I'm that confident.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah. Well, let's see. How I pronounce these words. Oh yeah, we've done that one already, because I went back to the beginning and then I've come down again, so I'm going through the same questions. Oh good, somebody's said the exercise has helped him. Very good. wonderful. So how long have you been on Instagram? Because you've got like loads of followers. You've been on...
Actually, it's my personal Instagram, and I use it since I've been using it since 2013. It's my first ever page on Instagram. But
Right.
I used to like post stuff just about my life. It wasn't like for blogging, nothing. And then I just started blogging about English maybe 6 months ago.
Okay.
And I started posting reels 4 months ago, and that's
Is that when you got a lot more followers? When you
yeah,
started
yeah,
putting the
four
reels on?
months. Yeah, 4 months ago I started posting reels.
And how many followers did you have before that time? Before you started the reels?
2,000 followers. So
2,000?
I got yes, I
And you've
reached
times it by 100.
200K in just 2 weeks. Just because of one reel, it went viral. It was like reached 5 million views.
Whoa! What was the
Yes, it
reel?
was shocking for me. Yeah, it was about the difference between British and American English. It
And
was something simple like pronunciation wise.
right, but they got hold of it and they loved it. Well done, though. That's amazing. I need to
Yeah,
do that.
thank you
I need
so
to do one
much.
of
Yeah,
those.
I was so shocked. I was so shocked, and I didn't even like. I wasn't planning to target like an international audience. My blog was completely like for Russians, but that was the first video where I didn't put any, where I didn't add any Russian subtitles, and that's what, like, and I got a lot of international followers just because of that. And then I thought, maybe I can post for everyone. Why not?
So hang on, you didn't put Russian subtitles.
On this video that went
That's
viral.
weird. So that seems like it's not got as much information, but it went viral. So people will be put off by Russian subtitles then?
No, no,
No?
no, 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 no. I just the thing I mean that I used to post my content only for my Russian speaking audience before,
Okay.
but just accidentally one of my videos went viral like worldwide, and then I thought, why don't I post for everyone? Like,
Right.
why don't I target like an international audience?
And your reels before, were you speaking in Russian?
Yeah, I was completely like fully speaking
Ah.
in Russian. Yeah,
And
that was
then
the
as soon
first
as you
video.
did it in English, then it went
Yes, yes,
viral? Ah.
yes,
Wow.
yes.
That's impressive. Wow. So a lot of people are looking for partners. So if you're looking for a partner, just go through the comments and you'll see other people that are looking for partners.
Oh,
And
amazing question.
then you
Because I
can...
used to struggle with that a lot before. Well, I do have a question as a non-native English speaker. Sometimes I find it hard to remember some words while I'm speaking to someone, although I know what I want to say. I used to struggle with that, with the same issue before, and the way I solved this problem just because I started speaking more. The only thing is to speak more. You need to kind of use this knowledge,
Yeah.
not just passive. When you read something, yeah, it's just like receptive skills, reading, listening. Of course, you know those words, but when you have to produce your speech, whereas whether it's writing or speaking, of course, like a different like part of your brain works. So you need to do that more often.
Yeah. Yeah. Great tip. Great tip. Somebody's saying you're cute. That's what somebody said. That's maybe it's talking about me. Who knows? Oh yeah. It says Sasha, why did you learn a British accent rather than an American accent?
I just don't know. My dream was to go to London, and I was really interested in the British culture, and still it's my dream to live in the UK. Like, I still consider that. I don't know. It's just really, I don't know. I just like it. There's no reason to
That's
it.
a good reason. She likes the
Yeah,
British
just
accent.
like when you literally like something, that's it. It doesn't mean I don't like American pronunciation. Of course, I like it. I wouldn't post videos about American accent as well.
But it's great that you can speak both really well. So
Thank you. Yes.
maybe one day again you could play a character,
I
just
would love to. I would love
not in a show or anything, but just in, like you say, you can pretend to be somebody else. You could go out and pretend to be American, and people would believe you.
Mm-hmm.
Let's have a look. Think in English. Yeah, thinking in English. So you think in English or you think in Russian?
When I speak English, I think in English. When I speak Russian, I think in Russian. And that's why it's really difficult. For example, I've noticed one thing: no matter how good your English is, or no matter how good your Russian is, when they ask you to translate something like quickly, for example, like I give you a word, you have to translate it to Russian, or I give you a word in Russian, you have to translate it into English. Your brain is like, what's going on? Because like when you hear an English speech, you start thinking in English. But when you have to speak Russian, your brain starts thinking of in Russian. So
Right.
it's really difficult to switch when you have to
Right.
translate something.
Well, I'm so impressed because I speak a little Portuguese, but I don't think I ever think in Portuguese when I'm, I haven't got to that level yet.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. When it becomes automatic, yeah, you will start thinking. Have you ever had dreams in Portuguese? Yeah, when you start having dreams in Portuguese, that's the moment where your brain is
Right.
like, yeah, I'm ready.
One day, hopefully, I'll get there. So you have dreams in English?
Yeah, yeah, many times.
That'd be so strange, but I'd love that. Somebody says, "Can I ask questions?" Yes, that's what we want. We want you to ask
That's what
questions.
you have to do.
Um,
Oh, nice question. Do you think I can have a good accent even if I learn English after 30? Yes.
of
Yes,
course,
absolutely. Of course,
anytime.
it might be more difficult, more challenging because you're not as flexible as before, as when you're a child, for
Yep.
example. But there are so many exceptions. If you have like good ears for accents, ears for music, it's going to be easier for you.
Yes, great tips. And also, I always recommend, listening. It's like when you were a child, you first heard your native language, and that's the beginning. So when you and because English is everywhere, not just music. And music's okay, but it's not as good as speaking. So podcasts are wonderful, audiobooks, and you can slow them down as well, which is great. So if it's too, because with Portuguese, it's just so fast. And I really, even on Duolingo, which I play every day, it just goes so fast sometimes that I just have to, there is a slow down button, which is great. I need that. But I would definitely recommend that. You need to get to listening to those, yeah, the English being spoken. And of course, in films and shows, you get that. You get the subtitles as well, which can help if you find, you want to learn words. But I've learned recently that if you need to improve your listening, then subtitles are not good because you don't listen as intently if you're
Mhm.
just seeing the words because you're just focusing on the words and not listening correctly. So you need to not have the subtitles if you're trying to improve your listening.
Mm-hmm. I have a comment from my students. I recognized her. She says listening is the most important thing in English. Do you agree with it?
Sorry, say that again. Sorry, I was reading the question.
That
She
listening
said
is the most important thing in English.
no, it's not actually, because listening and reading, you're intaking information.
Yeah, yeah. Receptive
Exactly.
skills.
It's not as important as the opposite, outgoing information. So
Speaking
you need
actually is
speaking
one
and
of the most.
writing are more important than listening and reading, in my opinion, because using it will help you learn more than
Mm-hmm.
intaking it.
I might disagree with you on
Go on.
writing.
All right.
Because, for example, actually, if we think even about our first language, we don't usually write a lot.
No,
We
no,
just
not at the
maybe
beginning.
use text messages, yeah. But in terms of, yeah, producing your speech, yeah, you can write first, and then when you have it written down, then you can say it out loud.
Yes.
Yeah, learning English, yeah, it's important. However, like when you speak English fluently already, you don't have that opportunity to write a lot.
No.
Maybe in exams, yeah, IELTS.
Yep. It's true. But yeah, speaking is the most important thing, I would say, out of all of
Yeah.
them. Somebody doesn't understand. Sorry about that. Doctor Strange has been. I always see, but some people do say I look like Doctor Strange, but no, I don't think so. I wish I was as good an actor as Benedict Cumberbatch. He's excellent.
I must say, unfortunately, like in 5 or 6 minutes, I need to go. Unfortunately,
No worries.
yeah,
No worries.
you can
Yeah,
you
of
can
course.
continue going live. So
Of course, no problem. I mean, it's just it's a good amount of time we've spoken.
it's good to start off using subtitles, but later not use them to understand just from hearing it. Also, having subtitles in your first language helps.
Well, I don't know if it depends what level you're at, but again, if you've got any subtitles on, then at least half of your focus is on the subtitles, so you're not listening as intently. And if it's
And you
your
don't have,
native,
yeah, you don't have subtitles in real life. When you go out, you don't have subtitles, unfortunately. That's why it's so difficult for many people to identify the words.
because they can't see it spelt
I
out.
have a good idea about that. I used that when I was learning English. So I tend to open an episode of a TV show. I watched it in English with subtitles. Then I got rid of those subtitles and watched it again. And then the third time I watched it again without subtitles, and I could hear everything because I've learned how to identify those words. So, and that's how I kind of, learned to deal with the native language speech
Yeah,
in real life because you don't have subtitles. So like if you're so used to reading subtitles, do it gradually, get rid of that.
yeah, I like that tip, because I was thinking also to avoid different ways to learn languages, because people, especially if they are beginners, you normally have to watch it with your native subtitles. But what I thought is, try watching something that you have already watched before and that you know really well with with English subtitles. So, and you might not understand it, but you kind of know it's in English, and even if your English is weak, because you know what they're saying, because you've seen it before, you can actually focus on the words and see how the words are spelt. That's another little thing I thought that might help people.
Yes, with spelling, yeah. Actually, and also another idea, maybe it's even better to do it the other way around. For example,
Okay.
first time you watch it without subtitles, just because our brain works like that. When they first hear it, it's better to hear it and then memorize the pronunciation, because pronunciation is more important in terms of speaking.
Okay.
But then see the spelling of the word, because if you see the spelling first, you might have mistakes in terms of pronunciation because you fixed it in your brain, in your memory. You think, okay, that's how it's spelled, but I don't remember how to pronounce it. So in real life, there could be some challenges.
Is that what you did?
No, I actually didn't do that, but I have this idea right now because I know how brain works in terms of studying.
Okay.
So it's better always to first learn the pronunciation and only then after that spelling.
But what
If
about
you
when
want to, if you want to use speaking.
what about if you hear the word and you know how it's pronounced, but you don't know what it means?
Yeah, sometimes, yeah, happens.
Interesting. I'm learning new teaching techniques now. Thank you. New ideas to be able to share with my students. How about reading a lot of books? Yeah, I mean, of course, if you can, the more reading, the better. You're going to learn new words. I mean, natives, I learn new words all the time when I'm reading.
Yeah, exactly. But also it's really important, if you learn something, you use it immediately.
Exactly. You've got to use it, otherwise you'll lose it. Somebody's asked about whether we use WhatsApp in the UK. Yes, we do. I think they use it everywhere. Apart from I think in China they have something else, don't they? They have
Yeah,
another
they
app,
have another app.
and that is, you can do everything on that app.
WeChat.
WeChat, exactly. And but they won't let us join. I
Yes,
tried
yes.
I tried to join it. They won't let you join. So
You need
fair
to have
enough.
someone that you know to register, and even if you have someone who has WeChat, it's impossible to register.
Yeah, again, I tried that, but it didn't work. This person, I need a girlfriend to help with my English, British English. All right. Well, good luck with that. Good luck.
Uh, Thank you so much. Very nice to meet you. Thank you. Thank you for the question. How can we start thinking in English? As I've said before, just the more you learn, the more you produce your speech, the more you speak in real life, the more you use it on a daily basis, then you will have dreams in English, you will start thinking in English, just more practice.
Fantastic. Well, listen, we can end now, you know, because I don't. What's happening now? Are you going to have you got an audition?
No, 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 not audition, just I'm in my granny's house in my countryside,
Oh, lovely.
and it's her birthday.
Oh,
So I
really?
will join her.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
and
Well,
she just came.
thank you so much
Yeah.
for doing this live with me. I didn't realize
Oh,
it
no
was.
worries, no worries, no worries. It's fine.
I wish her happy birthday.
Thank you so much. I
I
will
hope,
tell her.
I hope she has a great time. And if anybody wants to follow me, I should probably maybe I'll write my Learn Breezy down here.
Ah, me
If
too.
anybody does, if anybody does want to follow, and that IELTS course as well will be going live soon.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to, you can do that. So I'll put that in nice. Oh
Yeah,
no, that's the wrong one.
perfect, perfect. And I'm waiting for you as my students as well. So I teach English online and we focus on pronunciation. So if you have really if you are struggling with your pronunciation right now, if people don't understand you when you speak, yeah, you need to work on that. So you can also text me, just send a direct message.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so
Okay,
much.
I need to go, unfortunately. Thank you so much, Rob, for today's live.